Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Minister Ginger London. Thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday, early evening, if you will. Thank you for joining me. We are into the 25 days challenge, making an impact challenge. This is the devotion and teaching time. So I'm excited that you are here. And hopefully you have been doing everything that has been taught in this challenge up until this point. Hopefully you have your journal sheets. Hopefully you are making notes in your journal with your journal sheets, and you are deciding how you want to make an impact in the earth during these trying times that we're living in, and as well as for any duration. It doesn't necessarily have to be for COVID-19 or coronavirus or pandemic or anything like that. You can apply these scriptures to making an impact in every area of your life or at any time during the course of your life. And so we're on days 21 and 22 for the weekend. I know Sundays are very busy for people. Services are streamed live via Facebook and Periscope and Instagram and all the or these other platforms that are streaming, and phone conference lines and all of that. So I know people are very busy on Sundays. And so we're doing days 21 and 22 together. The topic for today is execute your impact plan. And so by now you should have started to write down what it is you want to do, but also how you want to do it. And if nothing else, just some bullet points on what you want to do, who it's for, how it's going to make the impact. And now you're ready to pull that plan together to make it really work for you. And so we're going to talk about how you actually do that so that you can be successful in making an impact in the earth. We're going to use the same scriptures we used a couple of days ago. Proverbs 20:4 says, "May he," meaning God, "give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed." May he give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed. And then Proverbs 16:3 says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plan." So that's the first thing that we have to do, is we have to make sure that we have a desire in our heart that pleases God, and then he'll make our plans succeed. When we're doing this to glorify him, when we're making an impact to help others and be the instrument of righteousness that he desires for us to be, and to be his workmanship showing greater works in the earth, then God will make our plan succeed. You know, when we commit what we do to the Lord, whatever we do, he will establish our plan. So even though we're planning in the natural, when we saturate our plans with prayer, when we saturate our plans with a covenant agreement with other believers and people who are like-minded and who want to be a part of what you're doing, because what your plan is will make a difference in someone's life, God gets involved, and then those plans succeed. So keep these two verses in mind. Proverbs 20 verse 4, Proverbs 24, if you're writing it, 20 verse 4, "May he give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed." And then Proverbs 16:3, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans." So let's talk about how to execute your plan. Once you have a plan for how you want to make an intentional impact, now it's time to actually take action. So no matter if your goal is to be friendly, more friendlier to people you do business with, or you're in ministry with, or more friendlier to your family members, your mate, your children, or maybe you want to start a foundation, whatever it might be, it's time to actually execute that plan. There's so many different ways, and that you can write it down on paper. At some point, you're going to have to actually start executing the plan, so it can stay up in your head forever. But if you really want to see it come to fruition and manifest in the earth, then you're going to actually have to execute the plan. So the key to starting anything is tied to a two phrase a two word phrase: get curious. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to get curious about what it is that you say that you want to do in the earth. And getting curious means that you let your creative juices flow. It leads to asking questions. Um, when you get curious about your next step and how to start with those things that you want to do, when you get curious about that, then you start to find those answers, right? So in order to find some of the answers that you are going to need to actually pull this off, make it happen, you're going to have to look around into that sphere of influence that we talked about several days ago. Who are you hanging around? Who you're with? You're going to have to look at that, and you're going to have to say, who are the wisest people in your circle? Who are the wisest people in your circle? Because whoever they are, they have answers. Who do you know that might have an answer to the questions forming in your mind right now? Right? So now is the time to involve your friends, advisors. If you have the need for advisors. If your plan is big, it may take a few outsiders to help you just really rope in all of your thoughts together, pull all your thoughts in together. So here's the time where you involve friends and advisors and people who you know that want to see you succeed and that want to get behind you in the thing that you are actually going to be doing. So, sometimes when we look at our lives and we look at other people's lives, we look at it and we say people are generally natural born problem solvers, right? And so, and that's true in some cases. In some cases, it's intentional. So when you're asking questions, what happens is it would create a think tank, if you will, environment where you have a collective brains operating, a group of people coming together that can solve nearly every issue or fill in the gaps where maybe you left something out, right? So whether you are looking for a place to volunteer, whether you are trying to find a mentee to pour into, or maybe you're trying to be an investor find an angel investor to back your idea, someone who has the financial ability to sow seeds into what you want to do. Asking people in your sphere of influence will get you connected to the people and assets that you need to succeed. And that's important. You have to remember that. And when you start asking around in the sphere of influence that you have, that you're connected to, then those people will begin to connect you to people who will be able to give you assets or things that you need to actually succeed. So you have to really look around and say, who are the wisest people in my sphere of influence? And once you've gotten curious enough to ask some questions, then you're ready to make some traction. It's time to take action. It's better to take a few steps and it's better to take a few steps and hit a roadblock than to have never tried it all. So a lot of times people say they want to start these great ventures or these great movements, if you will, to help other people, and it just stays in their head, and they never ever bring it to fruition because they never stop to execute the plan. They talk a lot about it, they share the idea with people, they write it down on paper, they map it all out, but they never walk it out. They never execute it for whatever reason. Maybe they don't feel that, some people feel like people won't back them or they won't support them. You will be surprised that there are people in the earth that are waiting on others to start something that they can support and plant seeds into, because that's just their philanthropy type work that they do, is that they give to these different organizations, different projects. Remember, I said you don't have to have a nonprofit organization to make an impact in your community, make an impact in your city, to make an impact where people are making an investment in what you're doing. You don't have to have a nonprofit organization. So you can start where you are. And so it's better to take those few steps than never to have started at all. So you got to get in the game. You got to take some action. You got to see what shakes out, what's going to actually come out of what you're doing. You may have to modify your goals and your activities based on the ease or the roadblocks that get into the way, but you're going to have to start doing something if you say you want to make an impact. So a part of that, doing modifying your goals, and a part of that taking those action steps, I mean, you may have to call and ask people to volunteer to help you out. Right? Can you come? Hey, come volunteer. Can you give me a few minutes? And I know that we're still keeping that social distancing, so call and volunteer might make maybe you setting up a Zoom call where people can come on, and then a part of volunteering is helping you to actually get on paper what it is that you want to do and how you want to make that impact, and sharing ideas with you, and tweaking maybe something that you've written, or helping you to modify it. It may be you reaching out to nonprofit organizations that are in your community, asking to find out what can you do virtually to be a part of what they're doing. Right? It may mean collecting items and supplies to give to school children or parents that now have their children doing virtual, and some people are going back to the classrooms, but still they need supplies. And see, even now with all of the transition, because this isn't over, you got some students who were virtual. Now in a minute, they're going to be making a transition back into the classroom, right? So it may mean asking people to help you to write a press release about your new venture, what you want to do, or calling the newspaper, seeing how can you get it out there in the paper. Most cities still have papers, so how can I get it in the papers where people can see what I'm doing, and maybe want to come and help out. So when you take action, what happens is your thoughts turn into realities, and it gives you the encouragement and momentum you need to keep up the good work that you're doing. So it's time to really execute the plan. And once you get to the place where you have executed your plan, and your things are going, you got some volunteers, or at least you got some people you're bouncing your ideas off of, and you think you've gotten to the point where you can say, you know what, let me go back and review my plan, and not just my bullet points. I'm encouraging you to write your plan out. Write the vision down upon tablets, make it plain, so those that read it can run with it. That's in Habakkuk. So it's like review your plan and make any adjustments, right? So what you want to do is, when you get to this place here, you want to make sure that when you're taking your action steps, that you are not just taking steps, but you are taking steps. And then in taking those steps, you're taking a few extra minutes at each step to look at the activities and to see, what, did this work? Did it, was there a problem? Was there any other information that I needed at this very point right here? So I want you to give yourself a reasonable amount of time to truly experience the activity. And then I'm going to give you a series of questions that I want you to ask yourself. So start making it happen. Remember, I said you can start small. Wherever you are, wherever you are, you can start with small steps from wherever you are. I want to say, let me just take a moment to say hello to Bishop out of Ghana. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. God bless you. Hope all is well for you in your country. God bless you. And so the questions that I want you to ask yourself as we're going through this is a few questions. The first one says, are the resources you need easy to find? Right? You want to carry out this plan. You want to do this. Are the resources that you need easy to find? Right? You don't want to make an impact. You don't want to start a project where it's going to take you, 3 months just to get the supplies you need, to even make the impact. So are the resources you need easy to find? If they're not, you may want to go back and modify and tweak what it is that you want to do or thinking about doing, so that you can readily get your hands on supplies that will help you get started right now. All right. And then the second one I want you to really think about is, do you feel that the impact is meaningful? Right? So when you're reviewing and you're going back and you're looking back over everything that you've written down and everything that you say you want to do, the question is, do you feel that the impact is meaningful? It has to be meaningful in order for it to make an impact, right? For it to be important to you, because if it's not, you'll get started, you'll be all excited, you'll be all hyper, and then as soon as the dust settles, guess what? You get burnt out. And so you don't finish, you don't complete it, you don't go on, you don't do it the next year. I have some friends who started some projects in the past, and because they got burned out after the first year or two, they didn't do it again. And they missed it, because you got to keep going. Remember, I said it's better to take small steps. Everything is not going to start off with a big bang. Some things will, but some things won't. Sometimes if you're giving out school supplies, it might start with you just passing them out to 10 kids. at first, and then it grows to 20, and then maybe it grows to a park, where they come to the park and get it. And in this case, or the situation where we're in right now, it might take, them driving by wherever you are, and when they drive by, they reach their hand out and they get the supplies. So it may be 30 or 40 cars that you service, and it may grow into hundreds that you service as the time goes on. So you have to really make sure that what you're doing, the impact that you're trying to make, is a meaningful impact. These are important questions to consider as a part, as you put in the effort to make a meaningful impact, right? So your answer should be a resounding positive one, because it just takes time. It takes time to make the necessary adjustments. It takes time to turn negatives into positives. So as you're doing this, as you're walking out in those ordered steps, just remember, just because something negative happens or things don't flow like you thought, don't become discouraged. You have to keep going. You have to keep pressing toward the mark. And that mark is the assignment that you have actually been given. So if you get to those places where things are not happening the way that you wanted them to, it doesn't look like it's going to work out, now it's time to do another Zoom call and go back to your advisors and to get some more input and spend some time alone, right, in prayer and in pondering and meditation, so that things can become even clearer. But don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop in the process of starting going. What you want to do is you want to journal, you want to process, and then you want to think things through a bit, right? You want to journal, you want to write down things, you want to look back over what's going on and process it, right? And as you're processing it, you want to think through it, because as you think through things a bit, then you start coming up with those answers and those solutions, and weeding out things that may have gotten in the way of it being as successful as you would have liked for it to be. So what does it take? What help do you what will help you to thrive? What do you need to take your plan to the next level? Or you look back over, did anything radical or unexpected happen that you didn't plan for? All of those are good things in a way, because you can always keep moving, but then you take some time to sit down and really review everything and make some notes about what you need to do the next time you put it, or as you continue to grow and continue to move. Let me make sure that, guess what, that negative thing doesn't happen again. Let me make sure I got the right resources. Let me make sure that I have everything in place, and I'm not, just fumbling all over the place. If I say that the school supply drive starts at 10 a.m., let me make sure I start at 10 and not 10:30, right? Because maybe I started at 10:30 because I didn't get out there early enough to set up so that I could be ready for the first car that comes at 10 o'clock. Right? Or if I'm doing a Zoom and I say the Zoom is at 10, I want to be logging in at 10:05 or 10:15. I want to be in a few minutes before the 10, so people can start coming on to the Zoom and I can greet them as they come on. So whatever it is, make sure that you really, every step of the way, you journal and you process and you think about things, think things through a bit, so that it can actually manifest the way that you want it to manifest. You will always have more available to do than can be done, and you may start to feel in over your head at some point, but you will develop a major skill sets along the way. You just have to keep going and don't give up. If you have to recruit more people, get more input, or more advisory from somebody, advising from someone, then do it. Right? Just do it. If this is in your heart and without a shadow of a doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is what you're supposed to do, then do it. And don't let anybody hold you back, and don't let anything get in the way. Speak to the mountain, let it be removed, or climb clean over it, or go around it. Whatever you need to do. Making an impact is the greater works that we can do right now during the times that we're living in, and we can do it global. As you can see, we have someone listening that's from Ghana, so you can make an impact right here on these live streams, doing something. You can teach a skill, you can teach a principle, you can teach what you know, whatever it is that you know. So, or you can encourage people on these platforms. Don't limit yourself. Don't think that the impact that you make has to be some major thing that you're doing in your city that's out in the street somewhere. Today, you can make a major impact digitally, a major impact using all of this technology. People are looking all over these platforms for encouragement, words of exhortation. They're looking for comfort. They're looking for direction. They're looking for guidance. They're looking to learn how to redo their resumes because of the job market right now. Maybe they lost their job. They're looking to learn how to tap into their life purpose. How do I find out what my life's purpose is? Now that I'm at home, how can I do that so that I can go back out into the world and make a major impact and have a difference? So maybe you're the transformation agent that is going to come into their lives to help them to discover those things about themselves that probably have been lying dormant and that they really don't know right now. So this was just a moment of encouragement for you. Think about that throughout the weekend, so that you can be blessed, and so that you can start walking in those steps that God have ordered for your life, and you can make that major impact that God wants you to make. I encourage you, either now you can post comments, or either afterwards you can post comments in the comment section, or you can direct message me on Facebook and some of the other platforms if you're watching on YouTube or Periscope or one of these other platforms. But the most important thing for this weekend is I want you to get in place to begin to execute your plan. Right? Don't sit on something too long, right? That gift cannot lie dormant too long on the inside of you. Stir your gift up, lay hands on yourself, speak to yourself, encourage yourself, and then get up and start executing the plan. Executing your plan can start with you simply by calling and asking for volunteers. Set up a Zoom call or set up a teleconference call where people call in to the phone line, bridge line, and explain to them what you want to do, and then start dialoguing and talking about it so that you can actually begin to do what it is that you're called to do, which will bring meaningfulness and significance to your life and your impact and your play in the earth during these times. So I am so excited that you joined me. I didn't want to keep you long, but I really wanted to make sure that you understood what's the steps that you need to be doing, at this time right here. And at this time right here, I want to encourage you to make absolutely sure that you start executing the plan. So think about that on tonight and then on tomorrow, how you can actually start executing the plan so that you can start walking in those steps that God has ordered for your life. And for you, if you are someone who has said, hey, I just want to make an impact, whatever it is that you want to do. And so be sure to let others know what you're doing. God bless you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining and listening on tonight. Also, please stay connected. We've got some great things that's going to be happening when we get past the 25 days. We've got about 3 more days together. And then we're going to have some great and exciting things that are going to take place, and some training and some teaching that's going to go forth that will help you during these times, and then for even further into your future and into your life. God bless you. I'm Minister Ginger London. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this evening. God bless you.